You've been in New York for like almost 10 years now, right?
Yeah.
You're like the perfect example of someone who can build parallelized block chains but still can't figure out like the subway properly, right?
1 second while I fix my hat.
Okay. But I think this is part of the Monad madness, right? That's what we're
true.
here for.
That's
G
true.
Monad, Eunice.
Come on, Ad.
Let's go. Monad back on.
Metro on that beat.
Coming back, summer sun has it brought my life back.
You've been a pastry chef, right? You've been an MIT CS undergrad,
Yes.
right? And you've also been in the Web2 fintech companies like leading payments for Shutterstock, and you're also the co-founder and CEO of Monad, right?
Yes, that's
Before we dive into all that madness and unpack that, who is Eunice and what's your story?
Oh man, okay. Where do I start? I feel like you already did a pretty good, thorough background on where I've been, what I've done. I guess a little bit about me. I grew up in California. Basically, the city that I'm from is known for agriculture primarily. I remember when I was growing up, going to high school, I would drive past like a cow pasture.
Yeah.
So every morning I'd be, looking out the window of the car and seeing just like dairy cows walk around. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's not there anymore. It's become a little bit more of a proper city, or small town kind of city. But I guess outside of that, I don't know. I'm a city girl by heart. I went to school in Boston, so naturally after graduation, coming to New York, it was a really fun experience for me.
You were a really good and like bright student, right? I think you've like had like multiple scholarships throughout like your academic career as well,
I think you're giving me way too much credit. I think if anything, there's a sense of diligence that I have. Maybe it's the Asian background.
Yeah.
My tiger mom. I don't know.
Yeah, nice. And so I think you did like a minor in finance as well, right? Did you always wanted to like end up in the finance industry growing up?
Well, back when I was in school, so this was like 2009 to 2013. It was a popular industry to get into. Everyone was like, oh, you want to get the trading internships, you want to do investment banking or consulting or something along those lines. So I honestly didn't really know what I wanted to do. I had grown up always thinking that I was going to go into the field of medicine. But going to MIT, the rigor of coursework made me realize that I would just be grinding for 4 years without any promise of being able to make it, go to med school, all of that stuff. So decided to take the opportunity being at a technology institution to really hone in on the engineering skills. I actually initially switched into mechanical engineering before doing computer science.
Interesting.
Yeah, which was cool. It was fun working with materials. I loved the labs, loved being able to like push and pull materials and see how different metals, would perform under stress, as an example. But the downside of mechanical engineering is that when you graduate, very few opportunities exist to actually do mechanical engineering outside of school. You have to do like master's programs or PhD programs or something along those lines. And so that's kind of where computer science came along. I also enjoyed the problem-solving aspect of it. And then through that, understanding what opportunities existed outside of the field of computer science. Obviously, a lot of software companies during that time. Facebook was really big during that time, Twitter, but finance as well. So going into whether it's high-frequency trading or various sell-side trading, that was like the thing to do.
Right. So right after you graduated, I think you worked in Bank of America for a while. Then you moved to Shutterstock for a while. You led like their payments arm, right? And then you became a pastry chef as well, right?
Yes.
Walk me through those years of like this entire journey.
Yeah. So the pastry journey in particular was interesting. Going to work as a trading analyst, it's a kind of a big culture shock. You're suddenly in the middle of like a giant trading floor. I remember I had, I think, 6 monitors at one point, which wasn't even like, the craziest monitor setup on the floor, but definitely
How many
a
do you have right
environment. Now? I have 2.
Okay.
If you count my laptop, I have 3.
Okay. Sorry, continue.
So high stress environment. And I found baking as an interesting outlet. I had always enjoyed desserts. Like, I think I just naturally have a sweet tooth. As much as I wish I didn't. So baking became like a fun outlet for me, and decided to just maintain that throughout the several years of working. So from Bank of America to Broadway Technology, all the way to Shutterstock, I had always kind of thought, like, what if I opened up a bakery? You know, what if that became my life? Because I enjoyed baking so much. Like, what if that was my thing?
Yeah.
So I was encouraged to, like, well, why don't you give it a shot? You know, go to pastry school. So I did.
Yeah.
I went to pastry school part-time in the evenings while working full-time during the day, working a normal job. And it was just like rushing back and forth for a full year. Work, school, sleep, repeat.
Yeah. Was that more hectic, or is being the founder of Monad more hectic?
I think this is definitely more hectic.
Okay.
The interesting part of like having to do like the work, school, sleep, repeat was that there was at least there were different aspects of the day, you know, so I could be like, okay, this is my professional time, or like, this is my baking time. Whereas with Mana, there's just so many things to do. And granted, there's a lot of variability in the day-to-day, so that's always been fun. But I think the sheer magnitude of what we're attempting to build with the Monad blockchain and the technology behind it is definitely more challenging, I'd say.
Nice.